So, first things first, Ásgeir, how are you?
I'm very good, thank you.
Okay, good to hear. So, before we talk about your new album, I'd like to go back to the beginning quickly. You're from Becky.
Yes.
After the success of your previous album, the first album, what was it like going back there?
Hasn't changed that much, really.
Okay.
Still this small town. There's nothing goes on there, really. It's just one gas station there. Still the same people that live there, mostly. Yeah, it hasn't really changed.
And because, well, your debut album has done quite well, and they say maybe 1 in 10 people in Iceland have your record. So is it, after going on tour and then having all that success, what was it like going back, and not necessarily just your hometown, but being in Iceland again? Did things change? Did people treat you differently?
Yeah, well, they might, it didn't change in a big way.
Okay.
Icelandic people are not much for running to you and taking pictures of you or that kind of stuff. They're pretty polite with all that, it's just they might look at you differently, but yeah, other than that, not much difference, no.
Okay, that's good. So when the idea, and I believe this is around 2014, 2015 that you start working on a new record, is that a family decision, so to say? Because your family does help you out on the album a lot?
No, it's very much my project in the sense of yeah, I'm in control of it,
Sure.
but but they're there for me, If I need to work with them on a lyric or something, they're usually there to help. Yeah.
Okay. Do you remember kind of the starting point where you began working on the album? Maybe it was a song, maybe it was.
It was in the beginning of. Or in April 2015, I just got back home from a tour with Ásgeir in the States. And yeah, I just began working on the album. I wrote so many songs for this album and I threw most of them away.
Why?
It's just normal, it's always been like that. Since I began writing songs, I throw 90% of it away, and use the 5 or 10% that's left. So that's normal, but I just made so many songs for this album. It was 200 songs maybe, and then cut down to 10 or 11 songs then.
So this is going to be difficult then, but how do you go from 200 to maybe 10? What are you looking for?
Just a feeling, just some feeling. Something that makes it feel right or true, and yeah, that's what I go with. Yeah.
And then you have these 200 tracks. What was your mindset going into songwriting? Because obviously on your records there is more electronic influence. So do you have an idea of what you want to do? Do you just pick up a guitar or sit behind the piano and?
It's mostly like that. It's mostly just writing a song. Just picking up a guitar and trying to write a song. Sitting down on a piano and writing a song. But production-wise, I was thinking I had some idea that I wanted to kind of evolve into this. Okay. So that was kind of, but with songwriting, there's no kind of idea. It has to kind of come to you a bit. Yeah.
And one thing I find interesting about your music is that it's very atmospheric. It has a sort of cinematic quality to it almost. So for you, is there a visual aspect to what you write? Do you imagine kind of things?
Yeah, I guess I do. Yeah, when like just with like the feeling or a color or like the mystiqueness of it is it's no specific image, you know, but it's sort of like a fantasy world kind of, you know, which doesn't really come alive in a specific way. It just kind of is there somehow, you know. It's difficult to explain it.
Sure, but yeah, I understand. So going to those 10 songs, was there maybe one that functioned as a catalyst for the rest, so that you kind of had, okay, I have this song now, and now I know kind of what I want?
I had a few ideas through the album process, so it changed a few times through the process. And in the end, no, not really. But the only idea, like I said, was that I wanted it to be a little bit more produced and more detailed and more experimental and electronic. Yeah.
Why?
Because that's just fun, and you know, music has always kind of been that way for me. I just go, you know, where it takes me. If I want to do this, then I'm not gonna say no to that. I'm just gonna. That's what I'm doing now. Then.
And is this also a reaction in a way to the music you like yourself? Do you listen to a lot of electronic music and?
I listen to some. I have some artists that kind of are bigger for me than others. Of course. Like John Hopkins, for instance, James Blake, Mount Kimby, and a few others that kind of influenced me to be, starting to kind of work on this electronic kind of,
And when I did some research, obviously names like James Blake and Bon Iver are quickly attached to what you do. Do you like that? How do you see those kind of comparisons?
It doesn't bother me. It's very understandable. It is a part of it, in a way, and yeah, it really doesn't bother me. Every musician you hear is. People always have to kind of figure out why they sound like they sound, and so.
Okay, so it's no worries.
No, yeah.
All right. Well, when you have the 10, is that when the lyrics come in, or do they come in already?
They come in already. It's usually if I feel like I have a song that I'm confident with and I want to record it in the studio, then I get a lyric for it as well. So. And
if I understand correctly, you wrote a bit more this time around, but you still...
Yeah, I worked on it a bit more. I worked quite closely with my brother who wrote the English lyrics, most of them, and so we worked a bit closer. With the first album, when we worked with John Grant, it was more separate kind of process. You know, he sort of did this work, but now it's more we're working together a bit more. Yeah.
And so when you have kind of the music ready for a particular track, how do you then proceed to go to the lyrics? Is it you let your father hear the sound and he'll write something, or do you already have maybe a theme in
sometimes
your mind?
I have some, like a theme or a feeling or an idea. So I'll show him the song and I will tell him my idea, and he likes working with, if I have an idea, likes kind of working around that. But it also happens that he gets just total freedom to express what he feels about it, and that's usually works really well, especially when he feels like he connects with the song as well, you know, which doesn't happen always, you know.
Okay. Is there one on the album then that he could connect to?
Yeah, it was this song called New Day that he was his favorite song.
Okay. And has he told you why?
It's kind of this. It's the most kind of beautiful song on the album. Maybe it's the most kind of familiar song. It's the most folky song, and he likes that about it. Yeah.
And then he writes the lyrics for that track. So when he kind of writes something and gives it to you, what was your first reaction to what he wrote?
I usually feel it pretty quickly if it's gonna fit well with the song, or if it's not. And if it's not gonna fit well, then I tell him, and he starts again. So yeah.
Okay.